happened. Don't ask me why, I got no idea. Nah, it's just driver instability. My computer is just right now at 10% usage. So it's just driver instability. And it should be back. All right. I'm back live. And
Mr. Monopoly has not taken damage from his Misty Rainforest.
and the judge is telling him, and I think he's not reading the chat. He's just focused on what to find.
Yeah. And here comes our Robber of the Rich. One of the cards which we were talking about prior to the match, if he gets lucky on removing
That would be random.
Lion's Eye Diamond, comes in with haste. And we got a mental note. Okay. Now Solasoni has pretty much everything he needs to combo in his hand right now. He's got the Infernal Tutor.
Yeah, he's got a pretty decent amount of tutors, and the thing is, the lands are going to be missing. So
it just comes down to can he find the tree lands?
yeah. Oh no, he just used the prismatic vista, right? I had some mix.
Casting a Demir Infiltrator. I quite like that line. It will save him a lot of life.
Yep, guys, that's a dimmer. You got no idea how much this echoes back to me. That was one of the first creatures I remembered when I started playing Magic. I started playing by the end of Kamigawa, so I didn't have a time to really note the names of Kamigawas, like samurai stuff. It was just 2 months before Ravnica was released, and that was one of the first booster decks that I first bought, and I opened this card, the Godless Shrine. And I opened this with Zadek, with so many things. This brain leech mass, whatever it is in English, mind leech mass, all those good stuff. That's so. I remember being happy when I opened Dual Lands. I was like, wow, this is gold, this is crazy, woo! And I was playing with people who just forced me into playing Magic the Gathering because they were my best friends, and they were playing just like Kitchen Magic with Legacy and Vintage stuff. So I was like, "Hey, look, Dual Lands!" Say, yeah. You know what a volcanic island is? That's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. Want to make a game? No. Just no. Nope. No. You're playing Force of Will, and I'm playing Birds of Paradise because I'm happy I just opened one. Right, so far Rian and
Solasoni's missed on his third land.
and
big.
The life totals is still not good, right?
No, we'd expect to see a little bit more aggression, but I think Mr. Monopoly is going to get in here for obviously that's 3 damage from the Rayhan, and we'll probably expect to see this Jace come down. I wouldn't be surprised actually to have the Jace return the Demir Infiltrator because it gets in 2 more damage, and that will bring us to Solasoni down to 11 life. Then I think it's not a lot of options that he has after that. So the Chrom's going to come down the following turn to attack for 2, 3, 5, 9 damage down to 2. Yeah, I think Jace plus bounce is a pretty nice line here.
And Reanimate does not like this.
No, it's going to be a pretty dead card. Missing on that third land is, really putting Solasoni maybe even just into an unwinnable position here.
All right, bounce.
Yeah. Bounce attack for 5.
Didn't even have attack. Didn't have time to put an arrow to say what he bounced.
Yeah.
Just slam go.
Let's see what the robber of the rich.
Robber of the rich.
Underground River. Oh,
That
that's
was a
pretty
land.
good.
That was a land. But that is the
Yeah.
thing with exiling and milling random cards from the top deck. It's not a format. It's not a game plan. It's not a strategy. Milling is not a strategy. It's never been. It will never be. But the thing is, there is a small probability that you just keep milling the good things and let the bad things on top, and it can happen. So when you do this, you think you're G when you're not. But it's good. Chain of Vapor.
In the end step. Yeah.
It's non-land, so you don't really.
Yeah. With the draw of that intuition, I think the match is pretty over. We're still not seeing that third land come in. Sorry, not the match, the game. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to see Chrome come down next turn, attack with all the creatures. Blocking on the Robber of the Rich is still 7 damage, putting Solasoni down to 4. And I just don't see a combination of cards that really gets him out of this situation.
Cabal Ritual is not really active right now in its threshold, so
Yeah.
I don't see
Maybe.
how you can get threshold right now and just get off with something really fun. I mean, potentially it's got 2 lands, Godless Shrines tap for black, then more black, then blue, and then the other land that makes potentially 6. And that would be good, but 5 is decent too, and I don't think it's enough. But
Abrupt Decay. Is this good? I'm not sure if this is good. This is only 5 damage, right?
he's dead next turn, so it doesn't really change a thing.
Yeah, I guess it's the same.
Also, he could just play Hex Drinker, double level up it, and next turn he's get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's just double up again, so he gets to Hex Drinker needs level 5, right? No, he's level 3, sorry. So it's 1, 2, and you instantly get actually a 4, 4. So what's the risk taken with that?
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe a little bit better.
Oh, and this turn, you get Hex Drinker, you just boost it once, so you get level 3, it gets a 4-4, and then you get to slam Chrome and Hasty, and then it does more than little damage. So
Yeah. You also get Grim Flavor as well if you want this turn. So you're gonna have 4 creatures when 3 is lethal, and with a haste option for next turn. I think the only card Solasoni can draw here is Underworld Breach. Sorry, not Underworld Breach. Lion's Eye Diamond. So I think my calculation is correct. We go Cabal Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, sacrifice. Infernal Tutor, sacrifice the diamond on the stack. Then for red mana, then you can play. Yeah. The Snow-Covered Swamp I don't think is good enough at 6 life.
no, that's impossible to me. That really looks like impossible to me.
Yeah. Frantic Search, sorry. I didn't see the Frantic Search. There's 2 more draws. And with Gitaxian Probe, there's 1 more draw. In fact, the Fabricate is in hand here.
I didn't. I just mentioned it earlier, but Grimflare is actually a thing that could prevent the combo happening. You just deal combat damage with it. You look at the figures. Oh, I found a Salvager. Oh, I found a diamond.
Yeah.
But
hang on. Does he get up to 7? Maybe he actually wins. Yeah, I think Solasoni might have done it. So if I calculate this, the Frantic Search is going to untap 3 lands, discarding 2 cards. It should be the Orum's Chant, and the Reanimate here is probably not very good. Or maybe the Spell Seeker is not good. Then Fabricate. Then you have 7 cards in graveyard, because there's 4 right now. The Frantic Search
yeah,
makes
it's 5.
and 2 more makes 7. That gives Threshold. Then you have. Oh, he discarded a fabricate. I don't understand anymore.
Now intuition is decent too, I think.
But what's the find with intuition?
Uh, Salvager and Diamond, Lensai Diamond for sure. And
Yeah,
usually
and
Brain Freeze, but the next one should be something different. He's got Reanimate, but he should play Cabal Ritual first.
yeah, Cabal Ritual plus intuition. Okay, yeah, the intuition is guaranteed. I think it's. I think my line was also guaranteed, but it was just a little bit more complicated. Because the intuition comes down, finds Auriok Led, and I don't think the other card even matters because
Could be a Lotus Petal, for example.
the Lotus Petal is exiled.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, you're right. I missed that part. Oh my
Which
goodness.
might actually matter. Because he might not have enough mana here. So
Yeah.
Cabal Ritual is 5 black plus 1 blue. Intuition is
Did he play a land this turn?
3.
Did he play a
He
land this
played the
turn?
snow-covered swan.
Yeah, okay. Now he fetched it. All right, you're right. He fetched it.
Yeah.
So Cabal Ritual goes off.
So then he's going to have 3 black left after the intuition. Reanimating. He needs access to a white because if Mr. Monopoly puts the Auric Salvages into his hand, then he doesn't win.
He does not know about the Reanimate, though. We know.
Yeah,
he does not.
How else can Solus only get white mana? If it goes to the hand. Because he's played the land. We know that Lotus Petal is in exile.
Mm.
He only has 2 black mana remaining. I don't think the Auric line wins. I wonder what this intuition finds then.
I think it finds the solution to go to game 2, but I wouldn't bet my life on it.
Just looking through the deck, he has black mana available, and this is a storm count, I assume.
Yeah, that's a storm count because
Yeah.
he's just trying to play Brain Freeze.
Yeah, that makes sense. So is access only to black mana? I don't see anything here that would be a third card that can guarantee the win with Auriok Salvages. Like, you can find a Thoughtseize, that doesn't work because you kill yourself on casting Reanimates.
Yeah.
You can find Collective Brutality to discard, but then after using Reanimate to get the salvages back into play, you don't have any mana remaining to activate the ability. So yeah, so he's gone with my idea of the Collective Brutality, but I just don't understand if he puts the salvages into hand, is it the game just over?
Yeah, it is. It's probably
nothing that can be flashbacked from the graveyard. I think, unless I'm missing something, I think
maybe. What if the last card was Breach? No. He took the Collective Brutality because he sacrifices the Lensai Diamond. After retrieving the Auriok. So he goes Collective Brutality. No, that's crazy. You cannot do this because you need to discard as a casting cost. So
He gave the lead? Why?
Where are
Now
the
it's
cards?
GG. I'm so confused here. I just don't understand, like, if he gives the Aureok, you know, Mr. Monopoly knows he's already played the land, and the Lotus Petal is in exile. I don't know how he can get the white mana.
He still had two floating mana black. So if he get Aureox in the hand, he just plays he just plays Brutality on the opponent.
No, but Brutality's in graveyard.
No, I mean if he put it back, but no.
I just don't understand. How is it possible to cast the Aureok salvages? I can't see anything in the whole deck.
No, he just used the reanimator, right?
In this situation, yes.
Yeah.
But if Mr. Monopoly chooses the Aureok salvages to go into Solasoni's hand from the intuition, how can Solasoni win this game?
Well, actually, I think the players agree that he just won, so...
I think so too, but do you think this is a mistake? Am I missing something? I wonder if anyone in Twitch chat can tell us.
So that's one game win.
Why did he throw the game away? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to figure out. By giving the LED, like, if he just gives the Aureok, then it's
I think this is just mental domination.
Yeah, maybe. Or he's so confident on the match that he just says, okay, you can have one game. But I don't think so.
The outcome would be so easy to him, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Any card except Lynn's LED wins. Yeah, exactly. Because if he has Collective Brutality, he doesn't have any way to cast Reanimates. And then have white mana in extra. The LED is the only one which gives him white mana. Yes.
And he could not activate Aureox Salvages anyway, so...
Yeah, LED is the only card which wins. Scam City rigged. Yeah, they're win trading, right?
You gotta find a card out of his three and put it back to my hand. The two of us got to the graveyard and oh, look, a bird! I think he's risking the heart attack win. Like, can you have a heart attack? Can you? No. Isn't it your mom calling you to go to eat something? Bro, I'm 35. Why? I just asking, you know.
So I just want to think. The line that I was thinking about, is it possible to win? Because my idea was you get 6 mana, 5 black, 1 blue, cast Fabricate to look for the Lion's Eye Diamond. Then you can play Lion's Eye Diamond. You have 2 black and pull. Then, you have 3 black and pull, cast Lion's Eye Diamond. Then you cast the Tutor. On the stack, you sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond for red. Then you have 1 black and pull, 3 red. Then that allows you to find the Underworld Breach. You cast the Underworld Breach.
And
with
you go
2 mana left available. And a lot of cards in the graveyard. So then you can just cast the Lion's Eye Diamond again. And then the Tutor again. And find any piece. I think it's a guaranteed win with this lane.
Depending on which land you draw, yes, I think. Because you still need, if you remember, he still was lacking some lands actually. So
no, after he drew the swamp.
Yeah, after I've got the third land, right? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was a guaranteed win with my line there. So I guess yeah, Solar Sony made a mistake, and then Mr. Monopoly made a bigger mistake, and now we're playing game two with Solar Sony ahead one game.
That's the end of the day. There's been a very hard tournament. They've been at home sitting on couches drinking soda all the day. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not
Or
easy.
maybe they're both having too much wine. Who knows?
They're just playing other games on the side. They're just farming on Magic Arena on the second screen,
Yeah,
while
yeah,
playing another game on the side, on the back on the table with another guy. You know, who knows?
yeah. Now, game two here, we've seen the Findhorn Elf, so it's going to be a much more explosive start for Mr. Monopoly. Also on the play, allows him to get that damage. Excuse me. Liliana of the Veil is another card we were talking about prior to the match. Might be interesting to reduce the number of cards that Solasonic has access to start the combo.
Oh, brutality goes off. Doesn't discard again, right? It's just discarding sorcery or instant, so the stays. So lightning bolt is going to be going away, and yeah, not sure about that.
Yeah. So he discards two cards here, the Infernal Tutor and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I think that's sort of okay. You know, Shred Memory is a guaranteed tutor for Underworld Breach. I don't know. Wheel of Fortune, probably not great if your opponent's already at four cards. But he didn't know about the Liliana of the Veil, so it
Yeah.
could have been a nice card to come back from this.
What I know is basically he really needs a third land, because also Wasteland's gonna break something as soon as he can. If he reveals that he doesn't have a land, opponent's gonna go slam, waste, crack, go, and that's probably the end of the game, because Rayhan is going to attack until the end of time. So
I
yeah.
think even the Wasteland here targeting the Hallowed Fountain would be really good. Slowing him down one turn when you already have 5 power worth of creatures in play is quite nice.
I think you're tilting down seeing the opponent's hand. I would just target silent clearing more than Hallowed Fountain actually on this.
Okay.
Not because of the damage, but because the game is really much more black intensive on combos than blue. You know, blue is just like we saw last game. We don't have Dark Ritual. We don't have all the things that help you find stuff are more black. Blue is just filtering, draw this card, draw this card. Black is about finding exactly what you need and comboing off. So I would just remove silent clearing a little ahead, but I'm not sure. You know, it's close.
Yeah. It's
of course, it's a bingo, you know.
like
If opponent finds another black-white land, you just remove the Hallowed Fountain. You say, "What do you have to say to that?" Well, you just got it right.
Yeah.
But that's actually the kind of play that could just settle the game once and for all. That would just be crazy.
This Liliana is very nice though, because
it's insane right now, because of course when your opponent is playing, of course the Secrum Coast just gives me right on this Wasteland bed. It's wishful thinking, you know. It's just not. It's just I would say in France you're shooting the ambulance, and I don't want to go into that. But also Liliana of the Ville is going really really high now, because you just discard Rayhan, put it back to the zone. You play Scavenging Ooze and watch your opponent die in phase. You know, new form is just useless. You just don't care about it.
you can just discard it. I think maybe even you just play the Rayhan again here just from the hand, plus the Liliana, discarding the Neo form, and then you have access to Scavenging Ooze Wasteland options next turn.
Yeah. Whatever, you just don't discard Ooze. I think it's the most interesting card here.
I agree. What options does he have for 4 mana on Neo form? That's the other question. So
No, you don't really care, I think. First, you need blue mana. First. And then you don't care about whatever is being played.
Yeah.
Both players are
Well,
really
guess,
low on
also
lands.
can't cast it.
They just played lots of cards and they just didn't get lands. So
Yeah.
Detection Probe. You're gonna have to use it and lose 2 life.
You could cast for 1 here.
I mean, also, what I would do, The thing is, do you really want to play your land right now? Because otherwise you can go Teferi +1 and play Deduction Probe on version. So you just got to play Charter Course, discard the Helm of Awakening, I think.
Maybe you
Um,
discard the probe. Not sure how good probe actually is here.
is this really written generic mana on?
Yeah, the original printing.
Wow, is it the only card in Magic that you have printed down with written generic mana? Because people always
Very
keep saying
possible.
colorless, and I'm saying no, it's not colorless. You're dumb. It's just generic mana. It's not the same thing. And when the things like the Rise of Yggdrasil came out, and Kozilek was like this rare thing, and we're like, what is it? It's true colorless. No, it's just colorless, right? It has to be colorless, right? It's not. But what is it? This is generic mana. I mean, people are just looking at me like, have we been wrong the whole time? Yes, we did. And that was crazy. Marauder Hellkite. Yeah, it doesn't do. But it flies. It can kill a Teferi in go 3. But really, you don't give a fuck. You just play Scavenging Goose, slam, discard Kite, and that's the end. That's the
Yeah.
end.
I mean, we haven't spoken about it, but Mr. Monopoly is still missing blue mana.
Yeah, it's just missing pretty much everything right now. But both players are missing lots of things.
It's fine. In a low economy situation like we have here, it's definitely favored for the aggressive deck, right?
What I'm worrying about is Liliana going to -6. So I think you can also have the luxury of going to 7, given the present situation, and then -6, and keep going discard each and every turn. So it's insane, you know.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
you keep 2 lands.
Yeah.
I don't think you can survive that. Just for 2 lands, it's enough.
Well, you keep
Scaven-
2 lands and then you wasteland.
and then you wasteland, exactly. And you scavenging use the rest.
Yeah.
Scavenging use is going to be really good right now, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it, right? But Scavenging Goose is really condemning the combo for going off. As long as it's on the board and one green mana is open, you go get nowhere to go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are no creatures in the graveyard to make it a little bit bigger to increase the clock.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't
Um,
need it. But there won't be creatures like we know it's playing just like 5 creatures, 4 creatures. I don't remember. Um,
yeah,
five
like
creatures, five.
almost.
So that's basically yeah. If one of them is Oryok Salvages, you're pretty good with that. But the other ones are not really interesting. Goblin Engineer being number 2, maybe, but the rest is just crap.
Yeah.
Crap that doesn't race against Rehan. It's all smaller than Rehan, so whatever.
This is actually a really interesting spot. So after the Liliana activation here, it sort of just depends on what he wants to do with it. Does Mr. Monopoly say, let's go with the -6 right now, and then waste land down to 1 land? It's probably a guaranteed win. But if he goes with the discard only, then Solasoni is going to be discarding that shred memory, end of turn casting Limdol's Vault, and then who knows what could happen at that point, right?
Olympus Vault is gonna be 1 card, right?
It's only 1 card, but you're able to filter through.
You don't filter the whole list. You just filter the last 5 ones.
Yeah, but you can find a specific card in the top, let's say 30 cards, right? So he takes 5 damage here, going to 7. So you can look at the top 25 or 30 cards. So you can find one specific card, and then you can also find maybe some other interesting cards around that, because you also get to order them, if I
Yeah,
remember
you
correctly.
get to order the last 4 ones. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the ones that you did order correctly.
So it's unfortunate. I'd really like to be able to see the cards that Solasoni are looking at.
Yeah.
Um, but it looks like Mr. Monopoly has gone with activating the Liliana. Do you also have to discard half your hand It's only permanents, right?
Or he's revealing the cards by putting them on the battlefield. Actually,
Oh,
you don't
interesting.
have a chance. You don't have a possibility. I think to yeah, you don't have a possibility to do this in cockatrice. I think just looking at them and putting them bottom.
Ah, yeah.
Ah, you see, I mean, you can do this. You can do this in cockatrice. You got to right click on the library, look at top X cards, and when you look at the cards, you put a right click on each of them. You right click and you say put on bottom, put on bottom, put on bottom. It's just slower, but yeah, I think the players agree that he's freely revealing his cards, which is
That's kind of fine, right?
yeah, purely lost information for him for this opponent because he already knows about him. So
Hmm.
that's been a lot. So you wanted to see the cards, you get to see the cards. Or maybe he's doing this for the streamers too. People know the cards. Maybe that's a possibility too.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gone down to 6 life, which is
The thing is, now
maximum.
he's revealing the cards, which is not cool. He's revealing that he's
Yeah.
putting on a wall breach on top.
Needs to be Underworld Breach plus a land. Uh, but there also needs to be ways to draw cards because Limdol's Vault by itself doesn't draw you a card, right? Um, you're only getting to filter for the top 5 cards. So he's saying, yeah, we can go to game 3. Makes
Okay,
sense.
so that's a 1-1. Don't think there was a solution anyway, so
No, not from that position.
that's too much asking for a 3 land deck, 3 land game.
Yeah. This hand, though, this hand is very nice for Solo Sony.
It's gonna be active at least.
Yeah. We've
This
got
line's gonna be active. So for those who cannot see the cards, gonna Demonic Tutor, Careful Study, and so another another cantrip which is a Painted Prism, and 1, 2, 3 lands, 4 Prismatic, and Snow would basically find everything he needs, and Spellseeker.
So we're setting up for a big turn
Oh,
3
that's
on
a
the big
mulligan
board.
on me on top, because I think he shouldn't keep this hand. There's
Hmm.
no way that Unsubstantiate, Plague Engineer, Oko, and Song of the Dryad just rely on finding another land. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
This
this
hand is much stronger.
much stronger, but still complicated. I think if he goes like he's got no fetch, so if he goes like turn 2, he's got a choice: turn 2 Cobra or Confident. I think I would just take the Confident, keep the Cobra, play turn 2 Confident, hope to find a land on one of the 2 cards you draw, and if it's a fetch, which is very likely, you just bounce off because you play Cobra, fetch, 3 extra mana, play Greaves, whatever, Roll Science, and boom, headshots. So that would be a good start, but it is complicated.
Yeah. The other option is if you do draw a land,
And don't
because
forget
you're
he's on
going
the draw.
second.
He's on the draw, so he's not on the play. So he's got one more advantage on
Yeah.
this.
Then you can go turn 2 Cobra if you have the land. Then turn 3 Dark Confident plus Lightning Greaves attacking for 4. So that's also quite nice.
Could be a thing, yeah.
Oh, there's the fetch land.
Oh.
Very interesting. So the Taiga is obviously the play here. Now let's think about what turn 2, turn 3 look like. Are we going with turn 2 Lotus Cobra, turn 3 access to 5 mana? Maybe even just a 4/4 Flying Haste is the play. What do you think?
I think it's a rich problem now. It's not a poor man's problem. Whatever he's going to do is just optimizing the attacks.
Yeah.
On the other side, Enlightened Tutor and Demonic Tutor is fine.
Wow. I think Solus Oni may have a turn 3 win here. Um, with the Pentad Prism and another land, he's got access to 5 mana.
Yeah.
Then in the upkeep, he can play Enlightened Tutor, going down to 4 mana. That's finding Uh, Probably Lion's Eye Diamond, drawing the Lion's Eye Diamond, playing the Prismatic Vista, Lion's Eye Diamond, Demonic Tutor on the stack, sacrificing the Lion's Eye Diamond, finding Underworld Breach, and then you have the ability to recast the Demonic Tutor. So I think it's a deterministic win from Solus only on turn 3 here.
Yeah, especially knowing that his opponent got no way to react to the combo, so
Yeah. Pretty nice way to have a game 3. Just that easy
pretty short
turn.
way to go to the finals, actually.
I think so. And we know that the aggressive deck here doesn't play any Force of Will.
No, yeah,
Force of
there's just
Negation,
got basically no
Daze.
answer to this, so
Yeah.
maybe a top deck Reclamation Sage and shooting down the Prism would be a thing, but
But
not with
it's a
Quarters.
guaranteed win this turn, so I think Solasoni is probably just calculating here. I'll be very surprised if we don't see the Enlightened Tutor cast on the upkeep.
Yeah, it should be drawing on the upkeep, then play Prismatic Vista. Fetch for this, get a land untapped. And yeah, that's close to it. Get a land. I think it's maybe one turn short. It's still an 18, so you just got the time, right? What could happen, right? So far so good.
I guess.
Yeah, I think he's going the safe way, not cracking all his resources one turn. Because breaking the combo apart on splitting it on 2 turns is maybe harder. Also, that's a blocker for Lotus Cobra. Woo!
Yeah. So getting the Brain Freeze off Spellseeker here pretty much guarantees the win next turn. We just need to see if Mr. Monopoly can find an answer. I don't think killing the Pentad Prism is enough. We're looking for any way to interact with the graveyard, or an instant speed way to interact with enchantments. Cracking the Prismatic Vista will go up to 5 mana. Maybe the Royal Scions to draw and discard a card is the best option. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
It's got 2 floating mana. Does not bother mentioning them, so okay. I'm gonna add the graveyard. So that's Chrome. Alright. Hasty Chrome.
Okay.
For 5.
Yeah. So he's just trying to get in as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, Solasoni has a very nice hand.
Yeah, this hand was kind of busted, especially once the additional draws were this one. So upkeep, you have to be very careful now. Tap a plateau. Get the first one part of the combo that should be actually the bridge, yeah, because the Lion's Eye Diamond is harder.
Is it? You just cast it and then cast a Demonic Tutor sacrifice on the stack.
You do the same thing twice, right? I think you do. Yeah, that's. Is it changing anything? I don't think it is, because you got 3 mana floating right now, so.
Yeah, I think it's about the same. Maybe this is just a little bit less fancy. I'm used to playing with Infernal Tutor and Legacy, so requires a little bit more hoops to jump through. Demonic Tutor is the OG.
Yeah, that's the end. Alright, that's the end you want.
Yeah.
Just goes with Lion's Eye Diamond graveyard, discard Brain Freeze, cast it an infinitely high and stupid amount of times, and boom.
Yeah. I was pretty sure this line was just an option last turn, but maybe I was wrong.
And oddly enough, you can still win with brain freeze in this format.
Yeah, no one's playing the Eldrazi's, which shuffle back. I know Emrakul is banned, but I guess the other ones just aren't quite good enough.
So first he goes on him to be able to make sure that everything is fine. Does not even count the floating mana.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, it's just deterministic at this point, no? We're just going to cast Brain Freeze, targeting himself, and then continue to do so
well, his
for an
opponent is full
unlimited
tap, so
amount
he
of
just got
turns.
the whatever pieces of the combo he wants to assemble. So
Yeah. Just continue doing this until your graveyard is full, and then that only costs 6 cards every time. Brain Freeze is giving you more than 6 cards every time. And then you'll get to a point where you can cast the Auriok Salvages, generate infinite mana with the Lion's Eye Auriok combo,
yeah.
uh, cast the Commander, and go from there. I'm surprised we're still playing this game.
I think they just want to waste everyone's Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Should only take another 3-4 minutes.
So it's the good old, yeah, you won, just show me. That's the good old defiance, from players who just.
Yeah.
When everything is lost, you can still hope that your opponent is tired and will make a mistake in the end, which is a very douchebag. Which is a very douchebag way of playing, You're probably like, yeah, time out, come on.
I mean, it worked for Solar Sony in game one, so.
It's even resisting. Yeah, actually, it did. It's even resisting to the additional turn, so you don't give a fuck. But actually, sometimes it just. Sometimes I appreciate it when it's curiosity, like, okay, can you show me? And I know when I play some really rock decks that I build, I know I'm looking at people say, looking at my face, I think you don't understand the thing in what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna do the combo for you, so you see how it works. And people are like, oh, all right. And when it's on the game one, it's actually really good because you know what could kill you next game. So this is something you can appreciate. But when you already know and it's the last game and you know everything, maybe it's also for the show. Some people are really nice. Sometimes say, hey, we got spectators, so let's just go on. It's not for me, it's not for the
Anyone that
judges.
hasn't seen Underworld Breach played in Commander or in Legacy before, obviously it's banned now in Legacy, but this is Brain Freeze plus Underworld
Yeah, they
Breach.
just
The job
forgot to
done.
remove the they just forgot to remove the keywords. They said, he has escape. Why? Because the edition is about escape. You sure it's not flashback? Nah, it's just the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is for two. Like the last thing that was this was on the World Fires, I think, in red.
Past in Flames,
Past in
right?
Flames, yeah, Past in Flames, and it was just like much higher in terms of cost. So you could at least have to pay some money. And this
And
one,
you could say on the cards, right? It was cards in your graveyard have
yeah,
flashback. So cards that you put into your graveyard after you cast the original Past in Flames needed to then gain flashback. Um, there was a lot more stuff to do before you could actually
yeah,
go into like
and
this.
it was already played. People already like say, yeah, that's good, that's enough for us. Some people played this Past in Flames thing in Eternal actually, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Not in Commander, I think. No one plays it in Commander. It's too expensive. But also, what was the flashback cost of Past in Flames?
4 on a red, so 5 total.
5, yeah. It's 4 and 5, yeah. I thought it was 6. It's 4 and 5. So it's still a little higher, but I don't know. Also, what are the red decks in the format where you want to play things again? So, and moving on to the finals.
So the finals we see here, it's going to be Solar Sony piloting this.
It's a
combo deck
final
with
that makes me lie because I said we are going to be up to 10, and I think if I start playing right now, we'll be up before 10.
half an hour, maybe.
So yeah, it's Verena against Kenrith, and good thing is Kenrith has fought Brago. That was control, but not stack control. It was just ground control, board presence, battlefield control.
Yeah.
Then it fought Ryan Chrome that has no control. And then Kenrith is fighting full control, which is very different. That's very different.
Quite a different matchup. We'll be expecting to see more of those silent abeyance arms chant effects.
You cannot win against Verena for the first 4 turns. I think you have to wait for turn 8 or 9 or something very late in the game where you are just packed up with lots of things to go on, and effectively, like you just say, you have to start with a response shutdown. So you have to start with Orim's chant, silence, whatever it is. You have to say first you stop playing there, and then I'll start comboing off. That's basically what the game is built to win with against control packs. So let's move on to game 8. In game 8, I need the passwords in the game. Is it connected? Is it created?
I don't see it.
No. It will be in the next seconds.
So yeah, I think we'll probably be here for a little while for this match. It is going to be a much slower sort of...
Yeah, if you got something to eat, it's now the time.
Yeah.
If you... I'm just trying to find the game. I'm filtering only Dune games just to make sure I don't miss it. Hello, 40 life Wizards of the Coast limitations. How long has it been since Wizards of the Coast didn't touch Commander in Duel? Also, it was not made for paper, it's meant for digital, so Magic Online only. I do keep track on the whole history of the bans and unbans up to a point I couldn't go further in time, but I think I went back to 2007 actually. So I've got the whole complete history of things on a Google Doc. It's purely internal for the committee, but it was kind of a long time spent for me to gather this information, and it's very large. It's 1,500 cells because there are many cards that were once banned and you wouldn't even think about them. You're like, what? And yeah, and I kept enhancing the document when Wizards of the Coast started doing Commander in Duel on Magic Online. I was like, okay, I'm gonna add some lines to just compare those things, and yeah, I'm adding columns each and every time a new card is printed for the first time and available to the public, and one column every time an announcement is regarding concerning one card in particular. So that makes a lot of columns and lines actually, and. Yeah. The fun thing is sometimes it helps me have arguments with the committee people, because I'm not really, I'm more like a technical coordinator, you know, I'm just not looking at the bans. I got my words, but I'm not fighting with other people who are just much better than me in the committee. And sometimes people just like, yeah, we just banned this one. So, no. It was out on the 21st September and banned on the 21st November. So it was about for 2022. And I just shut the fuck up, you're right. But actually, you can just ask me any question about any card when it was legal or not. I got the answers, and that was no. I wouldn't do this. Only for Commander and Dual Commander and Magic Commander, the Magic Online Commander.
Downtime now between the next game. Is it game 7?
No, it's game 8 now, and the guy who creates games for the tournament says it's live. Oh. And I'm just like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I don't see it, hey. I guess we'll just be sitting here a little. We can
Oh
jump
no,
back.
no, I'm just fucking right. It's just room 8. My room 7, I think. I mean, jeez, sorry. I was just looking at it. I was like 6, 6, 6, 6, 7. It was my goodness. And I've got the password for you. Jeez, I was looking at it. My eyes were on it. I was like, no, it does not. I was pretty persuaded that it was the one. I was already in. That's stupid. All
Yeah,
right.
that's what I thought.
It's room. Of course, it's room 7. There are 8 people, so there should be the number of people minus 1 all the time. So yeah.
That makes
If we
sense.
just look at the most normally games, if you don't look at half finals or little finals or losers finals or whatever other game you want it to be, like.
Okay. So they're waiting for us, which is nice.
We're waiting for all the casters, and the French team is not even on board right now. We're missing one of them.
Yeah, okay.
No, no, everyone is here now.
So looking at the deck list, how are we expecting this to play out? I think uh, Varina is actually the aggressive deck in this matchup. Uh, it needs to get to a position where it can put pressure uh, on the combo deck to act, while also at the same time having enough answers to stop the combo deck from winning. So it won't happen particularly quickly, but what I'm thinking will happen over the course of the game is we'll see at some point a Varina come down, or maybe it's something like a Celestial Calling
Yeah.
or so some kind of aggressive option, maybe even the Gomag Angler, one of these creatures.
I don't
And then
I don't think he wants to be that aggressive on creatures. I think the only question for him, the only matter is to have 2 counter spells, not 1 but 2 counter spells available each and every time. Because as long as you got 2 counter spells, I think you cannot lose against Genrith. There's no way, because it would require the best thing, the worst thing he could do, Kenrith, is 2 Orim's chant like stuff. So first one countered, second one countered. Alright, then I'm gonna go to combo. First cast, counter, and then get a second cast. That would be, by bringing it back to graveyard, reanimating, whatever, blah blah blah. This is the worst thing he could do, and just to assemble that, he needs to have probably more than half the library in the graveyard, and nothing's got exiled, and that's an insane setup. So I think as long as the arena player has 2 counter spells in hand,
yeah,
or maybe 1 counter spell and 1 spot removal, like a disenchant or something, I would say it could be good. Like if there's an early, for example, early diamond cast like we saw on 2 games ago, and that stays on the battlefield for like 2 or 3 turns, and you say, you know what, I'm going to prevent you for the first time you're going to crack it.
yeah,
Which is already a lot, actually, which is already a lot, because at some point you might crack it because you just wasted your hand in the opportunity to crack it, and if you just disrupt this plan by going as an answer, I'm just going to crack it, and you have, so you destroy it now, you sacrifice it for 3 mana now, or it's dead, and then you say, if I do it now, I'm lost. That's a good thing. So I would say it relies with 2 things: the ability for the arena player to have cheap draws, little cantrips maybe, and 2 counter spells all the time in hand. And this time Verena is playing lots of them. So what are the odd cards that we should not expect but that we should see? I don't think any of them is especially better than counter spells.
I think unexpectedly absent could be really interesting. Like
and Concealed Judgment too.
yeah, Council Judgment also, and also Esper Charm can interact with enchantments.
For example, if he lands, if the Darin player lands Teferi Time Reveler, then keeps +1. So the opponent cannot have instant speed response. And then you can have an instant speed concealed judgment. That is hell of a shit. Because you cannot respond and you lose it in the middle of combo. So this is just dead.
Yeah. Cling to Dust is another card that we saw coming out in one of the earlier matches that could be quite interesting here.
I think even Oust has a chance in this game. Dismember too. If you can just condemn whatever, shoot down a New York Salvager is always fine. And
instant speed also would be very powerful.
Swords to Plowshares could be a thing. Yeah, Swords to Plowshares actually shuts down the combo. No, you don't. You don't shut down because you still got to stack more effects. But at least it doesn't resolve.
Yeah, it kind of depends on whether or not you're all in on salvages plus LED, or if you have the full Underworld combo available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and he's playing quite enough counter spells actually. That's quite a lot of them. So
yeah,
unexpected.
Be at least 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Esper Charm, going for the instant speed discard on the upkeep could be nice. On the draw step, you can do this. I did this instant and people were looking at me, how'd you do that? That's magic, you know. Esper Charm is an instant, so you just wait for your opponent who's actually really emptying their hands pretty fast. And when you got 2 cards in hand, you say, instant speed. Before the main phase, before you get to play anything, you just discard those 2 cards and that's fine.
Very flexible card. Yeah.
Oh, you want to laugh about something? Archmage Charm can gain control of permanent with 1 or less. So you can force the opponent to crack the Lion's Eye Diamond or give it. And this time you say, that's going to be hard to win now.
Yeah. If you give it, you can't win.
And if you crack it, you just got your whole hand blasted away.
3 mana Mind Twist. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. What's this? One with nothing. It's like, you remember this card?
Yeah.
The most powerful card in Magic ever.
So yeah, it really looks like Verena has a lot of interaction here.
It's a good old association, you know. It's combo and control. So who else but control can stop combo control? There's no one else that can stop it, you know. So yeah.
I'm just thinking in terms of putting pressure, I 100% agree with you. The idea is to keep multiple counter spells available, but if you can also resolve, a Gomag Angler, then, putting 5 damage, making them win the game or act within 4 turns.
We do agree that Kenrith has no answer to that. No.
Yeah. Unless it's casting Kenrith, but then you're tapping out. And
and Kenrith is just really fighting with it. It's not going over with it. It's just fighting. It's 5/5, so all the creatures are 5/5. Yeah. And one odd thing, Cling to Dust. Jeez, Cling to Dust is also a card. It's the poor man's Scavenging Ooze, right? Cling to Dust is a one-shot silver bullet. So if you just remove one of the key cards of the combo, it's hard. And then you have to fight with the commander. And actually, you know what? I think this deck fights pretty well with creatures. So, yeah. Everything is probably fine. Question is, what are the dead cards? The dead cards from this control setup. Toxic Deluge is dead. It doesn't look like a card that does anything in this particular matchup.
Well, unless you have Teferi to cast the instant speed.
Yeah, maybe.
Interrupt the salvages.
Same goes for Oust. I think it's a close to dead card. I was searching for the cards that could potentially do something very unexpected, but this one is out. Draw.
Balance is also kind of dead. I mean, it's obviously a powerful effect, but in the matchup, I'm expecting both players to be drawing and going, like draw, go.
Short answer is you want to keep your cards when you're playing the control player. The opponent doesn't want and doesn't care. You have maybe a little creatures. Your opponent has as little creatures as you do. They're gonna start, and you have lots of cards with hands and lots of lands, and your opponent only needs 3 or 4 lands to win. So, yeah. All right, let's go.
What are we looking for? We've spoken a lot about the control deck and what it's trying to do, but what are we hoping for the Kenrith combo
And
here.
yeah,
Like a
but
turn one win, is that a
no,
turn one
that
win,
would be
or to wait until
yeah.
turn 20 with like all of these like
On game
triple
3.
Orms chants,
On game 3. Turn 1 win on game 3, just for the sole pleasure of finishing this damn beautiful thing. Like it was the top 8 of a 100-player tournament. So like, what? Kenrith is so powerful. Yeah, but maybe they didn't play 9 rounds before that. Oh, you're right.
And then everyone would be screaming to ban like Lion's Eye Diamond or something, right?
Well, we used to that,
Yeah.
Each and every time something is ban, 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 ban. And sometimes we even have those kind of behaviors from people inside the communities. I'm just like, really, is that what are you doing? Like for example, I could say is we got a guy who ends up commenting each and every announcement we make on Facebook. I know because I'm the one mostly moderating the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that always, each and every announcement said, and balance is illegal, this sucks. And the guy quotes himself, takes a screen cap and pastes all the screen caps of his previous posts each and every time. How tilted is that guy? I don't know. Why did you end up with that amazing woman, bro? Because I asked her 1,000, 2,000 times and 45. Just what? What did you do? It worked in the end. She got tired of waiting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting the correct name. The correct name of players. Solusani is 0 and Falaker is 0.
Okay,
So real name of players, if you wonder, is Adrien on top and Carouantin on the bottom. So
I quite like Falaka's position here. He's already got the force of will. Very helpful with maintaining.
Stubborn denial is fine actually because his opponent is really straight curve. It's really narrow curved. Like there's no place for extra mana, and just counting any non-creature spell for 1 is good. Like Demonic Tutor, boom. Reset the lab, boom. Magic good.
I would consider casting it here. I think slowing your opponent down a little, and then being able to set up a position is really nice.
He doesn't have any turn 2, anything interesting on turn 2. So maybe he's gonna let the ransack resolve and say, all right, you do this shit, and that's fine to me. So
this Teferi could be very nice.
Oh my goodness, that was a good fun. Oh, he's got negate and Valent. Oh wow, that was so close.
Well, stubborn denial is also countering Teferi, so and there is a force of will.
Yeah. That was so close with his top. If he played the stubborn, maybe the Teferi was the first card on top too. So if he plays stubborn denial, still get to draw Teferi and then have to force cast to negate, yeah, that would be nice. But I think stubborn denial is just perfect here. Yeah. That's actually bold to me because knowing the curve is really between 1 and 2, getting sure to that you could counter a spell that costs 3 on turn 3 is just. In any other deck, I would say, yes, that's a good move because your opponent didn't play anything. But on this, look at the curve. Look at the curve of this pack right now. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. And if you just look at the list I showed you, it's just crazy how many spells are between 1 and 2. 3 mana spells are just by 9, I think, or 13. I don't remember. 9, I think. 9.
It's not so many. But the point is, I think, is that the spells which he's casting on turn 2, you don't really care about. You only really care about...
Sure, you do. I've got the numbers. Spells that cost 0, 1, and 2 together are counting from 50 exactly. Half the deck is spells that cost less than 3, strictly less than 3. There are lands, that's 38 lands, so that's 88 cards that you could not do anything on turn 3. That was my thoughts right now. There are only 9 cards that cost 3, 1 that costs 4, and 1 that costs 5. The commander. So when I say it's bold, you can trust me. I'm pretty sure this is really bold to still go to counter this like that, but it was rewarded. So and anyway, he still had a choice with a negate. So,
but also the other thing is, what card could your opponent cast on turn 2 that is really breaking there? Like, maybe wish for
Oh,
talisman.
no! Is what I mean is first he knew about the card because he was on the stack, but the thing is, you don't statistically get many things to counter on turn three with mana type. You know,
Agree.
against this deck, the opposite. If he was a full spike for the Solar Sunny player, and trying to target something on the opponent deck, I would be less sure because the opponent deck has many more cards, twice exactly the number of cards that are counterable on turn three. So here's the difference. You know, when you, I mean, it's 11 cards, right? 11 cards. And if you just put a part that they could not cost 4, not cost 5, that's just 9. So basically, he said, I'm going to cost to try to counter with that later on one of the 9% cards of my opponent's deck. But the other thing, you're right on that, could be okay, so if it's too that slow on curve, it could be another spell that costs 1 or 2 and another spell that costs 1 or 2. So it would be the same. The first one passes, goes and resolves, and the second one gets countered by this stubborn denial. You see? So that's
And
the.
the other thing is, you can resolve your Verena with Force of Will backup, and then your Stubborn Denial turns into a negate after that. So you don't need your Stubborn Denial to be good early because you have this plan of Verena Force of Will backup that turns your Stubborn Denial on.
Here you got a perfect example of what I was trying to say with Esper Charm. He could have went aggressively discarding
To
his opponent
discard.
cards, so he just get rid of the
That's
Badlands and the other cards, and he couldn't cast. He could cast, Kenrith and nothing else, because right now he's got no way to handle the Kenrith, which is weird. So I would have tried it actually. This aggressive Esper Charm that just does this, or he could also just draw and go be happy with that, but that's
so. I,
bold too.
I wonder what this Cabal ritual is doing here. Is there a flashback? I don't see any flashback.
Now he's got 7 cards, so he's trying to cast Kenrith, basically, I think.
Oh, Kenrith with haste, maybe?
4, 5. Yeah, yeah.
I
He could
can't think
just.
of anything else. Or Kenrith draw a card is also good.
He can do this. He needs 4, 5. He's got 3 mana left, so you can only make a +1/+1 counter in haste. No, he cannot make +1/+1. He just also. He has to make haste and pass.
Oh no, Sevian's Reclamation from the graveyard.
Oh yeah, I didn't display the graveyard. That's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
better.
this
It's fine.
is bringing back Teferi and nothing else. Teferi and a land, maybe? Because you can copy it, no? Yeah, Teferi Marshflats. Bouncing the Verena. This is a nice line.
Yeah.
I think my problem here, though, is how do you...
First, you get a zombie, and then I think you got to think twice. So, not sure this is a
Yeah.
perfect play, but it's trying to.
Well, you could make 2 zombies, right? 2 zombies. One attacks Teferi, one attacks the opponent.
And
And
start the beat
then...
down. Ah, that's bold.
Yeah.
I think you want either to cast spell charm or think twice plus the token. I think.
No, but you can't because it's a fairy.
Oh no, he's just on the board. Yeah, you're right. He's just already
Yeah.
landed this. So
But even if you could, I think I would still rather make the tokens because there's the creeping tar pit as well. So you can get really aggressive here, like 2-turn clock. Even if you leave the Teferi, um, it's maybe okay. Oh, this Demir Infiltrator is a big draw.
I used the wrong land, and he says sorry.
I think it's fine. So the next idea is killing the Teferi. Ooh, what's he gonna find with this Demir Infiltrator?
Many things actually. Probably half the deck, a quarter of the deck. Yeah, a quarter of the deck.
Oh,
Yeah, lose two creatures. He loses one land, trades for two creatures and nothing in hand.
yeah. So he gets the whole hand and he keeps it to fairy with this lane.
That's cool.
Then next turn he can cast Kenrith. Verena can't cast his
Oh.
commander.
Top deck critic command, right?
Ah, the creeping target is very good here. So he can't keep it to fairy. But still, we're on Kenrith, and
Yeah.
it's not a fantastic position for Verena here. Maybe allowing Kenrith to take 5 and then end of turn casting Cryptic Command to bounce and draw. That would
Maybe
give
there's gonna be
you.
a spell attempt to be cast on Solus on his side, I think. So take 5 and then accept the trade for 5 life to bounce plus counter whatever is being played, because it's gonna have two cards in hand. He's keeping his fabricate, which he doesn't know about, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be good too. I think even if Solus only doesn't cast a spell, you need to get the Kenrith off the board. Um, so you end of turn, cast a Cryptic. Drawing a card is fine. You're looking for more counter spells, and you have a lot more in the deck.
Alright, so it's cryptic
Yeah.
command bounce plus draw, I suppose.
Bounce draw. Yeah, yeah. That's what we were just talking about.
It doesn't have that many answers to Kenrith, so actually bouncing it plus bouncing your land plus trying to draw something is too bold, I think.
Yeah. And so he's drawing the card here with the ability.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And with end of turn, so he couldn't play a land, which is good for him.
And we have the swamp. Okay. If we just see a Verena cast here, so like if there's no counter spell, Impulse is an interesting draw.
No, he's got it. He's got it. He's got to go impulse. There has to be something on the top 4 cards, and then it's dead. The question is, do you try to be bold enough to cast Search for Skanta this turn and try to find something that counters the next spell for 2? That is really bold, but you can do it.
I think you main phase your impulse, right? Because you're okay then with the information that okay,
Yeah.
maybe I drew like a 3 mana counter spell, I can't play my search, or okay, I've got my 2 mana counter spell, then I can play my search.
Yeah, that's more brain magic than board magic. You're right. You can just also go that way, but all right.
Yeah.
Kenrith gets cast. If this doesn't resolve, that's pretty good for the Verena player, I think.
Now, I'm really worried here. We don't see the top 4 cards, but if there is a 3 mana counter spell, then this is a huge mistake.
Oh!
Excellent draw.
Told you that was a good idea. Boom.
Yeah.
And even if it resolved, actually, he couldn't give haste because he tapped the bad lands. So, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
He mistapped his land, actually, because there was no way he would just use his silent clearing for anything else.
Maybe the idea is to save on life. You don't want to put yourself down to 12 because creeping top it then makes a 3-turn clock.
Ah, that's bold. I don't know. I think I still use it, but. And of course, Escanta insta flips. Ooh, Jace.
Jace is really nice here. Permanent answer to Kenrith.
Well, not that much actually, because next turn, no, he needs 7 mana. He needs 8, so he doesn't have 8 mana next turn to get haste.
And the Dovin's veto coming off the top,
which is quite fun
very
actually.
nice.
Not the ideal counter, but it's good.
It's not perfect, but it's good enough that with Jace being able to control the creatures, for 1 turn of instability here, you're happy to have any counter spell, I think, even if it doesn't.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Brainstorm.
Resolves, I guess. There's too many cards.
It's one of the rare moments when you have to consider resolving a brainstorm. But
yeah.
Yes, it's 5 mana. If there was like 2 mana left or something, you say maybe, maybe not. Maybe you're not gonna have to this.
Yeah, but
Ew.
also like three cards in hand, you know? Like you don't know any of the other cards that
Yeah.
Solasoni has left in his hand, and it could be anything.
So
So
he found a Grim Tutor, which is something that you really could counter, but the intuition is instant speed bullshit right now. So
yeah,
yeah, if he
very
plays
powerful
intuition,
three cards.
that's good for the control play. Oh wow, it's a fabricate.
Fabricate's probably looking for Lion's Eye Diamond here, I
Yeah,
imagine.
and there's gonna be an
And
intuition after that, and
the
that's gonna
Dovin's
be
Veto comes down on the Fabricate. I don't know if I love that. Because, yeah, as you
yeah.
said, the intuition comes down and it's setting Kenrith up to win next turn. I imagine the three cards will be Lion's Eye Diamond, Aureox Salvages,
Yeah,
and
and you can see
Reanimates.
the players exchanging smiles and like, yeah, find something. No, find 3 times something. All right, you got it.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Fabricate by itself isn't dangerous, and the
Yeah, yeah.
chances that your opponent has exactly the Aureox Salvages in hand, it's pretty low.
Also, countering a tutor is really random usually. So
Yeah. No, I
except
think
when you
that's a
know the
mistake.
tutor can find something uncounterable, of course. But yeah.
Yeah. So I think Solus Oni is like paying off his opponents in this tournament because we've seen them all making some mistakes here.
Yeah, we did, and not the first time, and not the same games.
Yeah.
Between the one mislisting, the one that's just miss putting in hand, and people who are afraid of any spells.
Yeah. I'm obviously joking, just for the record. But,
Yeah, of course we could. No one's listening to us actually, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Is anyone
No
there?
one would, no one would listen to some random Australian talking about Dual Commander anyway, so it's fine.
I'm sorry, yes, I had to lower the voice because my mic generates echo. Yeah, I don't stream with headphones. I hate headphones. I got a fucking epic system of hi-fi, you know. I never use it, and yeah, and also the fact is sometimes there are more than echoes because, of course, I use OBS, and OBS doesn't have echo cancellation, so yeah. But I listen to my streams sometimes, and it's perfectly fine to me. That's so. All right, so the second thing it's so he says it's harder when you don't have reclamation, and so the Sony says yeah, but she's done a lot of work so far, so I'm fine.
Yeah. And they reanimate. Yep. Now you have to put the reanimate in the hand, right? Just
He's still thinking, but I think it's gonna be the final choice.
okay. It's the Grim Tutor still in hand.
So Sony says it's not easy. I have to go into your head,
Yeah.
and the one say I'm not putting such an advice on you. You shouldn't. And he says, I have to go in your head, and apart from squandered resources has to be banned, I found nothing. Guys, come on.
Silence. Ah, that's a very nice line. So, I think giving the Lion's Eye Diamond is correct. Because without another effect to bring back the salvages, which can be countered, then you're looking okay. And the extra stream mana doesn't really do much.
I would say it mostly depends on what is on the top of Felix's deck.
Actually, this is another time when Kenrith's effect to bring back a creature might come into play.
Yeah. If you have enough mana to cast it, because it's casting enough, like that.
Yeah.
Silence is the least effective card, but if you put it in their hand, they got to cast it. If you put it in the graveyard, they'll never cast it again. So.
yeah, you can't give the silence. Um, if you give the salvages, then it's pretty similar as giving the lead, I think. But you're forced to have a counterspell for a creature, uh, and then you have to have a counterspell for the Kenrith after that. If you just give the lead, then has Kenrith been played this game?
I
I don't think so.
think not.
Okay, so we're looking at 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if you give the LED, then the Kenrith will still come down, and then you can sack the LED to bring back the salvages. Um, but in that case, the Kenrith player needs one more land to start the salvages loop. Um, so they need another card. So
Oh, and Oust is sorcery speed. Not
yeah.
good.
So we're doing as counter activation here, probably just to get rid of one of the cards. Oh, the duress! Oh, that's really nice.
But still, Grim Tutor finds the breach. So, duress is not enough.
No.
Alright, give up with Oust, Shrine and Thing in the Ice, play Ponder and Hope.
Yeah.
Or he didn't play a land, right? So he could just keep the Golden Shrine and have 4 mana up.
Yeah. Chuck the thing and the ousts.
Thing and Oust are the least effective cards right now, so yeah. Don't think the order is of any importance.
No. And you really just need one counter spell.
The thing is, Ponder is probably going to be a card that says just shuffle and draw the last one.
Yeah. Well, we were having a look at how many counter spells.
Well, there's something. If you look at the game, I'm not sure, but I think Kenrith was actually played. 23, 21. Mind Sculptor. No, there's something. Yeah, Kenrith was played. 28-18. Kenrith was played, bounced, and miscalculated, of this game, if you remember well. So yeah, Kenrith got 7, and I'm sorry, I said it myself a few times ago. Kenrith costs now 5 plus 2 plus 1 to get to haste mode, so yeah, it's too much.
He's playing the thing in the ice.
Pondering, right?
So he's going for removing counters. So the idea here is to Godless Shrine and then Duress. Unfortunately, I think that's not enough here.
No. That's...
You take the Grim Tutor.
No, it's over. You get a Grim Tutor, you cast, you find Breach finds you, whatever, you play Diamond, that's the last card of your hand, you crack Diamond, you get everything back, and you still have mana floating from the lands, so you're pretty sure. Alright, that was good.
So Lysoni just won with this land draw, I think. If I calculated correctly, he can cast the Kenrith, then bring back the salvages using the effects, and then start the loop. So we agreed that the Kenrith hadn't been played yet, right?
No, he's been played once.
Oh, he has been played once. Okay.
So he can do what you say, but in 2 turns.
Yeah. So you can play the Kenrith, but you just can't start the loop?
You can attack Jace and force opponent to block with Thing in the Ice, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you can't. You can only do this if you crack Lion's Eye Diamond, which is also something you could do, actually.
But then that means you don't have enough mana next turn to reanimate the Auriok salvages and start the loop.
Even if you draw a land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you can. It costs 5 to reanimate and then 3 to activate it. Was it?
Three, four, five, six.
Where is
Oh,
the
okay. Yeah, so maybe that's
and
the
two? Sorry,
play.
so sorry, two, two, two. I'm not three. So that's four, four, four. I was just saying the things, but the wrong way. So five to cast it. So whatever to cast it this turn. But the thing is, Jace is probably going to bounce it. So that goes 2 turns ahead, hoping that thing in the ice would not flip, which is unlikely now because Ascanta is going to find the last answer to make it flip. So there's no way this goes very fine. I think Kenrit Haste attacking Jace is the only thing that he could do now. And
Yeah.
thing in the ice blocking might be a thing because he only
Also,
does one trample damage, and yeah, attacking Jace is the only thing to do now. If it just does anything, it's dead. And it's a shame because he's already at 11, so he could just attack him and kill him in 3 turns. That's too slow.
Yeah. If Thing in the Ice flips here, he wins.
Oh,
There's the
oust!
oust. We knew about that oust.
Oust is a thing actually.
Yeah,
Oust
that's good enough, I think.
because yeah, it goes back to the command zone because you're not going to put it on top, right? That is stupid, right? You wouldn't put it on top.
Yeah, you can't. And if Escanta finds a spell that he can cast,
The thing is, he has to play Oust first, because if he plays another spell and resolve, the thing in here is gonna flip, and Kenris go back to hand and only costs 5 and can do some stuff with Light and Zay Diamond. So this
no, but
is a
he's
very
dead.
good
It's 6 life.
time to think. Huh? What you say?
The Thing in the Ice is lethal. It's a 7/8.
Oh, you're right. It's got haste now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's already killing him. Yeah, it's 7/8, so
Yeah.
it should be enough to
So,
kill, right?
so
Yeah,
you
I
want to
wasn't paying
sacrifice
attention
Lion's
to.
Eye Diamond and gain life? Maybe?
He could have exactly the good mana if it's bounced, but he needs to play it again. So no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I think they got an opportunity to win the game in 1 turn each in one of them. So
This is really interesting.
like I told you, anyone winning this game is gonna have to wait turn 8 or 9, and I just think we are turn how many? I don't.
11 or something, maybe.
I thought the game kept track of it. No.
I don't think so.
All right. I'm used to the Magic Online logs, and no, it's not working
Yeah.
here. Oust is fucking epic. Memory Lapse, oh my goodness, that is epic too.
Yeah. So I think the problem here is that Solus Oni must sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond in response, because if Falaka has another instant or sorcery, then he will flip the Thing in the Ice and attack for lethal. So Solus Oni has to gain the 5 life before knowing if Falaka can flip his Thing in the Ice. Now here, he can't, right? He's got the memory lapse. But what he could do is, after the Lion's Eye Diamond sacrifice, you could consider memory lapsing your own oust if you really wanted to force the damage through. So it kind of depends on what Solasoni does here. I think the best line is from Solasoni to gain 5 life, because otherwise he's guaranteed to be dead. But then for Falaka, he just should pass the turn. Because Memory Lapse will be able to counter any play from Solasoni.
Yeah, basically he needs more than one play to win, and the first one's going to be counted, so it's fine.
He doesn't have enough to cast the Kenrith anyway, and even if he did, it would be Memory Lapsed. And yeah, he can't play 2 spells. Unless I'm missing something from the graveyards. I think, yeah, just passing the turn and this should be GG.
So he's gained the twice 3 lives as expected, cracking the diamond and gaining 3 life from Oust. And that's a very bad draw. Synchron Coast is not only a land, but a land by ETB tapped, so...
And now he's sacrificing the lands to draw cards, so we see the Fiery Islet and Silent Clearing might come in as well. I expect to see a Memory Lapse on this Spell Seeker here.
Well, that's bold, but yeah, why not? Put it on top. Because if I think he's not dead, but if the Spellseeker, if he finds a land on top deck, but he's got a Skanta, right? I think Skanta is finishing this game right now. Because he's going to draw the Spellseeker again. Oh no, he's doing an Esprance, alright. He doesn't want to draw it. Oh, Brain Freeze? No. Too slow. Alone, it's just not the perfect spell.
But Solus only gets one more turn here because of the life gained.
Yeah.
So it is possible if Falaka misses on account. Okay, this is a demonic tutor. The game's over.
He's got a Skanta anyway, so I'm pretty sure he can find anything that can be a response with a Skanta. And yeah, I think we saw a pretty good demonstration on how control decks are good against anything. So yeah. Demonic Tutor is going to find the heaviest and dumbest counter spell, probably Cryptic Command, like counter and bounce your land. That would be crazy, or counter and draw something. Whatever, because you just want to attack with a 7-8, so...
Yeah, we've seen the Dovin's Veto already. I mean, it's tough for Solus only here, being on 14, it's a 2-turn clock.
Mystic Confluence is fine too. You could just say pay 3, draw. That's just the same thing as a Cryptic Command, so...
Yeah, also good. Even just the classic counterspell.
Yeah, and any strict counterspell is fine.
Yeah.
And also there's a Creeping Tar Pit that could be doing stuff, but it's too late. Yeah. I don't see what more of card advantage you could find than Cryptic Command. And yeah, that's not going to be a... You could just draw from the dreams, but it's wasting all the mana, so no. And Solosani say, oh, if you draw Demonic Tutor on the top, what can I do about it?
Yeah.
And but my answer is like, yeah, there was also a Skanta and 8 mana left, so... Oh, Snapcaster Mesh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
Cryptic Command, Dovin's Veto, Esper Charm, Miscalculation, Memory Lapse, even Stubborn Denial.
And Snapcaster Mage goes through more counter spells than what Solution is playing. It goes through Negate actually, so...
He's going for the...
Are we gonna see my play? the Esper Charm discard stuff.
Yeah.
Because Ken Rift costs too much. Yay! There we go! Who talked about that ugly play like 40 minutes ago? Yeah! Or Brain Freeze used and said, take that, motherfucker! You don't win, I get to kill myself. What did you expect?
Is there anything which he can get here, like an instant speed flashback or?
No, there's nothing else. This is completely dead, and now it's just down to an Creeping Tar Pit and attack with everything. So, yeah, or just being silent and attacking with only the 2 things on the board right now, and keeping Skanta up, which is really more serious and careful.
Yeah. I mean, when your opponent has no cards in hand, you don't really need to be very serious in this spot, I think.
Alright, he's just revealing what he plays. Alright, that was the end of our tournament. Woo!
That was game 1, no?
I think that was game 1, but we're gonna have some pretty similar games to the next ones, I think. They want to make a 5-minute pause. Alright. I want to make a 5-minute pause. So I should update the scores here. So I was 1-0. Solosony 1, Falaker, Solosony 0, Falaker 1. Alright. And they make a 5-minute pause. Probably because the bladders are getting overfilled, so...
Fair enough.
I need to eat too. What the fuck? Are you hungry? I'm fucking hungry.
I could have a snack, man. I'm still full from my like 3 p.m. lunch, but yeah, I could have like a little bowl of pasta or something. It's okay, I'll make it.
Time to eat.
So yeah, really interesting game coming out from those players. A nice demonstration of what both decks are capable of, and quite close towards the end as well. Falaka is very much a more experienced player playing his deck than I am. I think he was a lot faster to see some of those more intricate lines towards the end, especially around uh, the Jace Brainstorm leaving Oust available, um, and knowing that it was okay to sacrifice his Jace to the attack there. I think definitely I might not have found those lines, and had I done so, it would have taken me a lot longer for sure. Yeah, just some food.
Sure.
Nice.
And having some survival stuff.
Yeah, like some good snacks.
No. I'm just eating basically junk food.
Yeah, okay.
You know, French cuisine. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm eating French industry food that actually comes from whole Europe because it's less expensive due to capitalism. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not even crying on that.
I thought the whole point of French cuisine was quality products and,
Yeah, but we've got the same industry in capitalism as everyone else has. We have the same shitty food. But we're pretty aggressive on the health, so yeah.
Solasoni is not ready to start the game anymore.
He's gone away. Probably find something to eat, I don't know. And so, once again, thanks to the ZAP for organizing this tournament online. It looks like not very impressive for anyone, but it's already kind of an organization, there were lots and lots of discussions. It's probably like 1,000, 1 or 2,000 messages exchanged just to set up this, put up the channels, everyone agree on everything, the judges and everyone. So, shouts out for keeping us entertained during this. Thanks to you, bro.
Yeah, and yourself as well. I'm having a good time. It's nice to have a chat to someone new and talk about a really fun and interesting format.
Don't do too much. I deceived you.
Don't mind me. I'll just like sit here and shut up for a little bit. And
Yeah, actually, I hate this format. I don't even know what I'm doing this committee. It's just
yeah,
everyone's a nasty person. Actually,
yeah.
we are basically insulting each other every time, and
Obviously, it's just everyone's very passionate and very strong opinions. But that's right. And we have game 2. Right?
yeah.
So.
Oh, we do have passionate people in the committee. You got no clue.
Yeah. Now we see this game-winning thing in the ice coming back here, and I wonder if you can play it on turn 2 and if it's good. Because being able to interrupt creatures at instant speed, we identify it as one of the ways that Verena can interact with some of
So
the
far, I see
coming
a
up.
Dark Shores and a Stubborn Denial. The rest is less probable. Negate is fine too. Turn 1, Denial, turn 2, Negate. We're back to the position of game 1, I think.
Pretty nice, yeah. And both players keeping their starting hands. There's a lot of action for both players here as well. There's the Faceless Looting, Thought Scour, and Tainted Pacts to
Boom.
filter through. And we found even a few more here with Ransack the Lab and Collective Brutality. A lot of early game action available here for Solasoni on his combo deck. Falaka's just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see some stubborn denial action here early. Um, but I also wouldn't be so surprised to see a turn 2 thing in the ice and just to see if he can put on a lot of pressure on Solasoni to win quickly.
Again, I would just counter this, even though there's a brutality behind. But on the other side, if he counters this and the next play is collective brutality with a splash cost being paid that takes a negate, that is bold.
Yeah. Ooh, here's the Lion's Eye. That's pretty nice.
Where would have been better?
I mean, can Solasoni find a win? Oh, yeah, of course, the stubborn denial on the Lion's Eye. Yeah. This Gitaxian Probe is actually a very good draw here. It allows the control deck to sort of figure out how to navigate the next couple of turns as well.
And clearly you don't care about your life points.
Yeah, absolutely. As well as just giving the opportunity to dig a little deeper into the deck, right? Only two lands so far. Really like to draw a fetch land so we can brainstorm away this oust. I think that's what I imagine Falaka is thinking. Yeah. I have a question here. Can Solasoni win next turn if there's no counterspell?
With what? A Lotus Petal and a Tainted Pact?
Yeah. Silent Clearing, Tainted Pact, Lotus Petal. Is there a 2-mana card which wins the game?
Yes, if the Tainted Pact finds the first solution that you want first, which is the Breach, and then the Salvagers. Without the overorder, you exile the wrong cards. So you got three mana already. You land the Lotus Petal, you play Tainted Pact for 2, you keep the red mana up, and you try to find Breach. You find Breach, you go Lion's Eye and Diamond, then you crack, then you go Tainted Pact again, finding Salvagers. You got 1 mana floating. No, it's in your hand, so... no, it's good. You got 1 mana floating, you replay Lion's Eye Diamond, you play 4 mana, then you play Salvagers, then you play Lion's Eye Diamond, and you go. That's a win.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
But if you find these Oriok Salvagers first and the Breach second, you cannot. You have to stop because otherwise you lose the combo. So you have to take the wrong card. And exile a bunch of stuff, by the way. So...
yeah. So yeah, I was just trying to calculate, can Falaka get away with playing a thing in the ice on 2 there? If you can, then you can start to play some other stuff. I think we'll see the Mana Leak come in here. No? Okay. Just accepting the discard. Would you take the Brainstorm?
He's got both negate and snapcast damage. That's the answer. So whatever you take, it's both dead, so...
That Creeping Carpet's a great draw. Just any land here, really, I guess, is a good draw.
It's probably one of the only ones that could ETB tapped right now, so... It happened, but yeah.
It's fine. I think you're okay with ETBT.
Mental note. Let's go.
It's fine. What's the draw? Another land? I suspect we'll see Kenrith played on on 5 lands. Ooh, the Mana Tithe is nice.
Yeah, except these are white, so...
Come on, fetch land. Fetch land whites. Oh, Flooded Strand, yes!
And Fortress.
And, wow, that's a very nice
Throw away
there.
the Oust and... second choice.
Thing in the ice, maybe?
Oh, it goes back on top, so you don't really care. I would say you just keep the Glacial Fortress, you put the Flooded Strand on top second, the Oust first, so you then draw Flooded Strand, you shuffle the host away and you get to draw something else. That's probably what
Yeah,
you want. It's not
yeah,
that
that's
host
what
is bad, it's just that Mana Leak, Snap Custom Age, Mana Type, Force Spike are just strictly better than anything right now, so.
I agree.
Even
It
2 by
looks
2,
like
like, even if you play pay 2 with Force Spike plus Mana Type to counter unless they pay 2, it's okay.
mm,
Especially if they draw Intuition.
yeah.
So.
It looks like he doesn't want the thing in the ice though. I'm quite surprised.
No, it's not. It's not something you really want right now, and it's only cool if you flip it uh, while the combo is trying to be resolved, and otherwise it's not good.
Yeah. See, my thinking here is that you can, uh, if you have it in play, then all of these sort of like one for one trades, ticking it down. And at some point, it starts to put pressure on because Solo Sony can't let you flip it without having a plan to combo. And interestingly, we see the oust drawn here, but then the Tundra coming in from the fetch land. So the oust, I think, is just the answer to Kenrith. Allowing it to be resolved is fine. Um, and we'll see the oust coming in on the following turn. I wonder, can you play Varina here? Is maybe what he's thinking
No,
about.
that's too bold. I think you don't want to go
Yeah,
with your commander unless you still have 4 floating mana or
I think
something.
so. I think
You
so.
that would be too bold. Like, yeah, I'm gonna grow you. Like, suddenly you think you've got an aggressive deck. Let me show you why you don't.
Mm. Especially we see the intuition here. I mean, we've seen intuition so many times from Solo Sony, just being a one card win basically. So
Oh,
yeah,
and he plays it. Oh my god. And that calls for an absolutely perfectly timed Force Spike. I would rather have
yeah,
played the mana type right now because he's got everything that every land generates blue and the white is not.
less white. Yep, I 100% agree.
But that's really a rich person problem, right?
Absolutely. Now the Kenrith will come down. I wonder if you monetize the Kenrith.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. But there's a Urborg, so if he plays Urborg first, which is going to
Oh
happen,
yes.
and this time he's going to keep the red up, which is not something he did. That calls for a mana leak, actually,
I think I would let it resolve and
and play
take the
Oust.
5, play Oust. Yeah.
You can see Falaka against reading the game very well because he didn't even get to wait or think. He just said, yeah, 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 lose life instantly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And of course, Kenriff goes back to the command zone and not the third position because if there's a fetch land or something, you say, my commander is going to be really taking a long time
Lost.
to come back.
Yeah.
And on
Wonder
paper, you
how
have to actually remove all the extra slaves you keep from you keep for to prevent your commander being reshuffled away. So if they no, this time you got to shuffle away.
it's a very nice rule addition. I don't remember 7 or 8 years ago, whenever that was changed. Yeah.
Yeah, when clarifying that all the zones that were not permanent zone, not stable zones, were just a concern like hand, board,
Yeah.
battlefield, library, exiled, and graveyard.
Yeah.
It's everything but the stack and the command zone, basically. Because yeah, you wouldn't add the command text when a commander is especially put back in the command zone. That would be just like ping it twice. Like what? No, that wouldn't be cool.
So Abeyance is a nice draw here. It's one of the effects that Solus only has to fight through counterspells.
We haven't seen any of them, but Silence that was never played last game, so
Unfortunately, costing 2 is a bit of a tax.
yeah.
Um, and I think if I'm Falaka, I think at the end of this next turn, I might flash in the Snapcaster Mage to brainstorm. Because I don't want to give my opponent so much time. And right now, you still have access to a couple of counter spells plus whatever you find off the brainstorm. And otherwise, you're just saying like draw go, draw go, draw go, draw go. Maybe I'm being a little bit too impatient, but especially with my counter spells being Mana Leak and Mana Tithe, they're not so effective when my opponent gets so much extra time. So that's what I'm thinking here. What do you reckon? Do you
Oh,
like playing snap?
also, you just say extra time. I don't remember. They started like, how long has it been?
I think it's probably untimed for the finals, no?
Not sure. They want to make me be right when I said we should be here up to 10 o'clock. And I'm 5 minutes away from being right, so.
Yeah. So Abeyance is cast and the Mana Leak is forced. 3 mana paid. Now I wonder, surely you have to Snapcaster with Mana Leak here. There's no way you're letting this Abeyance resolve. Interesting. Well, what's going to happen from here? I don't think we'll see the Tainted Pacts.
I think the judge said when the games should be stopping. No, final end at 20:55. So that's actually game extra chance.
But they had extra time also from the 5 minutes, right?
Oh.
What do you think Solasoni is looking for here with the Tainted Pact?
Absolutely nothing. Intuition's already passed, so I don't know. Salvagers and hoping to cast it, that would be just crazy.
Salvages and hoping to cast it next turn, yeah. It's very, very, very telegraphed.
Right, so the head judge say we should be going to the extra turns in a few seconds actually, so.
Okay, sure. So what did he take at the end? Was it a Underworld Breach? Okay. Well, unexpectedly absent breaks breach combo as well. So I think Falaka is pretty well set up here.
I'm just trying to check. Yeah, actually, the thing is, they're gonna have extra turns too very soon, and it's gonna be draw actually because none of them will be able to get to win the 5 turns. So,
Yeah. So that would be a draw for the second game. So that would mean that Falaka won. Falaka won the match.
right?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think it's gonna be.
So what's being played here? Are we looking at a Snapcaster Mage for a Mana Leak? Just lets the Kenros resolve. I think that's dangerous.
Unexpectedly absent. No, it's just letting himself be attacked.
Save absent for the Underworld Breach, unless the idea is to use Snapcaster absent on the.
And look what I told you about. Look what I told you. Even if he's not playing Force of Will, of course, he's just 5 colors, but it's just he didn't keep any white mana up for the mana type. You know, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but yeah. Field of Ruin.
Solasoni finding probably the only basic land in the deck, I would guess. No,
I think there's 3 of them or 2 of them. I think there should be a swamp as well. You want swamp and snow-covered island. So I would maybe have shot Urborg actually at this price, but I'm not sure.
I think he's got enough other black sources.
Yeah, but But you're not really going to shut down anything, so you just cut down one Badlands, so less red. It's actually not so bad, of course.
I feel like Falaka's playing for the draw here. As strange as that might sound.
It's what's going to happen. What time is it? The judge say they counted the pause they made for 5 minutes in between the last because it was okay. It was the last round of the day, so they could take 5 minute pause. They asked, and the judge said, "Yeah, you can just have 5 minutes, not more, but 5 minutes, okay."
So when is time here? Ah, that's right now.
The time is in 1 minute. No, it's now. It's now. The time is now.
Yeah.
All right,
So
this has been announced. 5 extra turns. 5 extra turns. So we're going to see a draw now. The control players just need to not trying to find how to win, but find to not lose. So yeah. And even though it loses, it just ends up in a draw. So it's just trying to trade anything. Oh, what? The players asking if they could play the complete final.
yeah, it makes sense, I think.
And why the pounder is on the stack, we're asking the judge to take decisions. All right, let's see what he would says.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, for us and the French commentators, that's adding extra time for us. But for there's no other matches in the tournament that's waiting on this result.
So the TO says I was supposed to finish right now. Thinking.
Straw poll Twitch. I think it definitely would be a better tournament experience. You know, obviously for the players, they'd like to finish their match, and
yeah, let's make a straw
for
poll.
the spectators too. I wish my French was better so I could write some funny responses to this stuff. Okay, so we heard from the organizers that it's now going to be an untimed final. The fun is authorized. And Falaka's found a council's judgment here. Another one of those cards that we thought would be good if played at instant speed. I'm expecting to see the Underworld Breach come out here from Solasoni. And, well, I mean, I guess it's untimed now, so maybe he wants to race.
Alright, so the TO said, yeah, just go.
Yeah.
That's the final. And the judges just say they're fine too. And anyway, it's the last game in the last round, so it can go very far, but there's just,
Could
as
be
you
one
see,
more game, right?
You know
Maybe
what I see?
yeah.
Actually, it's not something that you see every day. I see 46 cards in Solasoni's library, so that means like there won't be a very long game because there's no reshuffle effect.
So Dark Ritual into Kenrith here, just forcing through another 5 damage. It's okay. I think it's a pretty nice play. We might see the Council's Judgment coming in main phase here, just to deal with it, and then the next turn, if Underworld Breach comes down, there's Snapcaster Mage for Council's. Oh, there's no double whites. How does he deal with Underworld Breach now? Ah, there's a negate. Okay, Snapcaster negate.
That bridge is bold, actually. Pretty good find.
Yeah. Falak is actually under a lot of pressure here with this Kenrith being recast multiple times.
Goblin Engineer. What? So he can just basically trade because I need to. I'm gonna hide Falaka's graveyard because the other ones is too large. I mean,
It's
I can technically display both like that. That would just fit. There's nothing else on the battlefield right now, so I'm just gonna put this there. I'm pretty happy that the players don't play with the whole zone and put cards on the left and right, so that's pretty good.
I agree. Yeah, so Goblin Engineer plus Trinket Mage, a very powerful combo here. Uh, does Solar's Only not find anything with Trinket Mage? Or is it in Exile?
I don't think he did. How many targets does he have?
I'm thinking there should be at least the zero mana artifacts.
No,
Lotus
it's already in the
Petal.
graveyard. It was played since the first time, you know, so it's already in the graveyard. Lotus Petal is already in the graveyard too.
Oh, it is
My only
too.
question is, what target is left? And I think the answer is none. Right, the answer is none. So Trinket Mage has is no target, no possible chosen cards to total the top deck. So yeah, the two
And so,
the two artifacts are Lensai Demon and Lotus Petal, and then everything is costing two, and two.
mm,
So yeah,
Solus only finds a reanimate here with no targets. Um, what he doesn't know is that his Underworld Breach is still not good because there's still a Snapcaster with 4 mana available. Hmm. There's no artifacts in play. I think Solus only might be trying to get on the beatdown plan here.
that's the only thing left, and none of the players play a decent number of creatures, so they're just going to look at each other and cross the fingers, I think.
Yeah. I think Kenrith is uncastable for a very long time now, being up to 11. Um, 7, 8. And now we're at the end step. I think Falaka should not make zombies here, but he's going to anyway. I guess he knows the one card is Underworld Breach, so it's probably not so bad for assuming that your opponent doesn't have something which is completely winning at instant speed. 2 zombies joining the board. And a Tithe, not particularly useful. See Verena coming in, and we'll see draw 3, discard 3, and gaining 3 life. And I think at this point, Falaka should be able to lock up the game. Underworld Breach is not doing anything. Kenris is uncastable. Reanimate doesn't have any targets. Trinket Mage and Goblin Engineer are just 1, 2, and 2/2 creatures against a board of zombies. I think we'll probably see the Gomag Angler come down here, and that should put enough pressure on Solasoni over a couple of turns.
So Sonny just wrote, "Kids, you're not going to stay on this live for a very long time. I'm pretty sure."
Yeah. Well, he didn't cast the Gomag Angler. I guess just keeping the full hand of counter spells. I'm not sure I love keeping the Mana Tithe in hand here, but it's probably a guaranteed win with Verena anyway. Just making the zombies so you don't need to have anything except counter spells.
I'm pretty sure it's a win next turn anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zombies if my opponent doesn't do anything. So he's got 2 cards, 4 times, yeah, 8 cards. He's got enough cards and mana to just create 4, get 2 blockers, strike for 8. No, that's not a win. You can just trade a zombie for a Trinket Mage, and yeah.
It is with the creeping tarpits. It's just enough.
Yeah, that's just enough. That's 8 plus 3, that's 11. Yeah, well. And Kenry for school, of course, is just not going to be replayed here. I think it's very far from getting back.
And Falaka honestly putting on a show for everyone here and demonstrating how to play control versus combo. I think he's played this match incredibly well.
Yeah, because usually combo decks go undermining by playing very cheap spells at the moment you don't expect them, so that's the 5 mana combo resiliency in Dual Commander is just always like that. It's just about very cheap cards that are still authorized in the format, from Gamble to Demonic Tutor to like we saw Tainted Pact or anything else, and you just try to sneak all the way through, and whatever spells go through, it's just about that shit. So I'm playing Saskia combo, with the classic Angel Blink things with Splinter Twin and stuff. And
And stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I just think I put something like 10 things that stop the opponent from playing. And it didn't have tried to play a and send silence first. So just with the creatures, it's okay. Exanted Swarm, the flying submarine that costs one. I didn't forget the ship name.
Oh, the
That's
new one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's legendary. That's got an intro. So it's Russian foil, so I never remember the name. It's that thing. You attack, you crack it, and you cannot play. You get it right? No, I don't. Yes, you can. You just lost. And that's what it tries to do. You always try to undermine the opponent when going under the radar and casting spells at an unexpected moment. And the thing is, you have to only focus on what opponent could potentially play, knowing that each every con spell is the same. You don't really give a fuck about that, but you only have to calculate your way through, and the opponent has to calculate the way through and calculate what good spells to react and play at the good moment. So they're always gonna have a higher cognitive load when playing this matchup. So you're pretty happy with playing combo. It's easier for you. You got less opportunities. Of course, you generally don't have many draw. So yeah, you just have less opportunities, and it looks like
The concession's coming in here.
yeah, it's already done. So everything is on the battlefield. So yeah, looking
Yeah.
on top, I think it's just trying to see what he's got. Wheel of Fortune,
Well,
and we are
well
down
played.
below the number of cards that a limited deck could have, which is very rare.
Well played to both of our players
That
here.
was good.
Solasoni making it through to the finals. His opponents kind of giving him a couple of games here or there throughout the tournament.
Not easily, not easily. That was very tight, and yes, they get by maybe not taking enough time or maybe too much pressure. I don't know. But it was close. Yeah, you're right on that. It was close. So yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Up until the finals, but then Falaka really just, man, completely played this match very well, I think.
So yeah, that was an interesting day. Also, that I think that in between Verena, Euro, Kenrith, and probably Heliod's Sun Crown too. Those are decks we have never been streaming live with the ZAP team or any other tournament in France right now. Brago, same. I think we never streamed a Brago. Sai, we've done it like number of times, that is not even comparable. Rehan and Chrome separately too. Together, I'm not sure, but separately
Maybe
we did.
once, but not so often.
Kess, of course, was streamed at limited time. But the thing is, we had new commanders, right? Because Lorena was out Commander 2019, I think. I'm not sure, it's 19, right? No, 2018, sorry. Oh, 19 was the bullshit one. So yeah, it's Commander 2018. And and Euro was out like 3 months ago. Heliod Sun Crown, same thing. And yeah, that was an interesting opportunity to see new things to be played. So yeah. So right now the people are talking. I cannot join the server like that, so I'm just going to look at the stream, put the sound back, press play, play the sound, and try to translate.
3 fois l'arrivée de Teferi pour le manger une 4e fois, et sur Teferi tu top deck le Dimir qui fait balance. Donc, Ça a été sa meilleure game. Hein. Enfin, ça a été la meilleure partie. Hein.
So they're talking about the Teferi bounce that actually found the Dimir infiltrator that just cycled into balance.
Mais malheureusement, il n'y avait pas le setup parce que sinon ça partait sur
Yeah,
Bridge.
that was a very big play.
Mais
Yeah.
il manquait un artefact à mana. Donc ça marchait pas. Je crois qu'à ce moment-là, même Pétale me suffisait à partir.
Ouais, t'avais vraiment tout ce qu'il fallait, mais.
Ouais. J'arrivais pas à trouver mes pièces de combo, c'était assez terrible. Je trouvais bien les cartes de disrupt, j'ai bien trouvé les silences, les discards, etc.
Yeah, he's saying on the last game and the game before, he just found a lot of disruption cards like silence and stuff, but never the combo cards assembled together at the same time. So that was not very
Merde, Goblin Engineer qui part.
pressurizing.
Et Command Tower qui m'emmène pas très loin. Mais je me dis que
And yeah, that's true. We can think back through this game. Solo
finalement
Sony
j'arrive à trouver
could only ever play one
j'ai moyen de
threat
faire
card per turn.
Reanimate sur ton Snapcaster pour
And even though Philosopher's
rejoindre Infernal
responses
Shooter, enfin je commence à faire
were
des
not
plans sur la
that
fenêtre,
strong
mais,
against them, you know, we saw the
ça marche pas.
um,
Je pense que si j'avais eu
the
un artefact
you know, soft counter spells, the Mana League, the
Goblin Engineer qui remonte Wish Flow,
Mana Tithe, those sort of effects.
Ouais, en fait, j'avais.
Solo Sony wasn't quite able to just put everything together.
J'avais une bonne misstep et
Yeah.
There was that one turn with
t'avais pas autre chose qu'un artefact à main à aller chercher. Donc finalement, t'avais pas d'artefact à aller
with the
chercher.
Tainted Pact that might have been able to get somewhere, but that was sort of where Solo Sony maybe didn't wait long enough to have enough mana to be able to capitalize on forcing a spell through.
Mais ouais, et du coup là il va rien chercher parce que Pétale et Aludé sont déjà passés. Donc non, bah pas grand chose à redire, hein. T'as contrôlé la game, tu t'es pas full tap en me disant bon bah il a rien ce tour-ci on y va, j'avais toujours des trucs pour te faire flipper.
J'ai failli hein, le tour 2, j'ai vraiment hésité à faire Singing in the Ice plus comment ça s'appelle Gitaxian. Je me suis dit bon, je vais quand même faire Gitaxian.
He's talking about the Gitex and pro play and flipping Fling in the ice too. That was a moment that was hesitating for him.
Stubby Denial sur LED m'a mis dans l'espace, mais un niveau.
And also he said, like I told you, stubborn denial on the diamond was just completely broken because he was just out in space doing so.
Petit tour 2. C'était un des rares cas où j'avais un petit tour 2.
Yeah, that was very nice time.
And he said if he didn't do this, I could just kill him to turn 2.
Il y a eu ça, il y a eu le Stubby qui a fait mal mais qui était encore raisonnable. Mais c'est surtout la force spike sur l'intuition.
Yeah,
bon,
that makes sense.
And the force spike on intuition was just the end, actually.
Je peux pas après Snapcaster l'autre.
Yes,
Et je peux partir.
that was
avec
also
ceci.
very
Et en
nice.
fait, t'as la force spike et du coup, t'as le mana pour faire Snapcaster negate et je peux pas partir et c'est l'enfer. La force spike était vraiment horrible. Ça aurait été un contre à 2, n'importe lequel autre. En plus, j'étais bien, mais force spike c'était absolument dévastateur.
C'est vrai qu'à la 2,
Yeah, okay, they said the 4 spikes and especially the ones on intuition and the rest of the deck have been absolutely unbeatable.
À un moment, quand j'ai vu la toundra poser, je me suis dit, bon, c'est encore possible. Mais ouais, le fait est qu'en Duel Commander, des packs très contrôle espère avec de la défausse et des contres, on en voit peut-être pas assez. Et du coup, ce genre de pack comme Breach peut exister et dérouler la plupart des match-ups mid-range ou aggro.
So he says that basically in Duel Commander, not enough people or not every people plays Esper control like this that are able to insert everything. So he's been pretty good and pretty well performing with Breach decks. So
Huitième land pour pouvoir jouer Varina et avoir Snapcaster plus Negate pour pas perdre la partie.
Ouais, ça aurait pu être dévastateur pour toi. Le problème, c'est que
Voilà,
même une discard ne marchait plus parce que c'était avec Snapcaster. Enfin, ça marchait plus. Comment dire, je faisais la discard, tu jouais Snapcaster et du coup je pouvais pas
I
partir.
think this style of control deck probably isn't as popular, and also you need to be a very good player at playing this type of deck to do well with it as well.
Ça a été ferré du coup.
well, it's always the same, you know. When you want to play control, then control is just on the edge of not being a good deck because the format is aggressively attacking you enough, whether it is with combos or creatures. It means that you have to know the format, and when you're playing against aggro decks, you never know what to expect. But when you play control decks against when you play against control decks, you just picture yourself facing the threats one by one, building a wall, and you know exactly where it's going. And so this requires you to actually know the format and have seen what players could play. And you cannot control what you don't know. Only a few players could do that. Only a few players. Like, I remember a few years ago when Guillaume Wafotapa, one of the best French players ever on the Hall of Fames, multiple fucking thousand pro points and stuff, just tried Dual Commander for a day. He was just like, yeah, I'm gonna play Narset. But it was just mono blue Narset, you know, the Narset 3-2 hexproof one that just enables you to play the top cards of your deck when it attacks in first strike. And he just selected this pack. He just kept winning the whole day, within a perfect win, perfect strike win. He didn't know anything about the format, and I don't think he just really prepared for that. He just built the deck, he was given the thing, and he just attacked with that. He just looked at a little what the people were playing, and even if he doesn't know, first he's got a very good culture of Magic, so he knows the card very well, and he was just like playing like a very good control player with skill, and only a few people are able to do this, you know. Only the very, very best players who have actually played Magic for quite a long time for eternal formats, so they don't get surprised by bullshit, know about, you know. So you have to know the format, you have to have faced opponents or have watched opponents how they play and read deck lists too, so yeah. There's another example. One of my friends from the community, Moondusters, one day took a control pack, an aggro pack that has a little control, maybe, like land destruction and stuff. And he just played and he said, oh, I've got some cool story to tell you. I was like, what? You know the tournament I was like playing 2 weeks ago? I faced an opponent that was playing something like Marath Enchantress or stuff like that, but not Marath because it was banned, so you know Naya Enchantress, and the guy was like, the fuck, I know you're fucking the best players, one of the best players in the summer right now, but how do you know I'm gonna play this fucking combo by breaking this weak card instead of breaking the other ones? This is insane. It's but because I've got one of my best friends who play a similar deck, so I've already seen this once, and that just actually saved him on tournaments, you know. So sometimes you have to have faced diversity. That's what you need if you want to control decks and win. If you never entered in format, you're probably going to lose. We all get to learn by mistakes, and it's not a mistake really if you don't know what you're facing. So sometimes you just take something in the face and say, oh, okay, I lost it. Another example I could give you, there was when we had Zero Global Striker legal in the format. I was playing the same decks, and I really wanted to have this bad deck, this Enchantress deck, so I was playing it all the time with the same deck, so it's really not meta game, it's not competitive enough, and I was playing against Mono Red Zogo. Needless to say, the curve of the deck is really too high, so Zogo had the time to play 4 turns before I could play something decent. And we have a playtest sessions against a pretty lucky opponent, but that's good, and I think we went like 15-2. 15 for him, 2 for me. I was like, yeah, something's not cool. I'm not going to tune my deck to face this, but I'm going to change a few other stuff, because I just woke up, I looked at the field and what people were playing, the meta game, and I was like, my deck is too old. I need to change, and I know exactly what to change. So I changed something like 10 to 15 cards, and 2 weeks later, we just went back. And I played against the same Zogo player. We did something like 10 to 10 games. More games, even more games. Well, we went through almost 20 games. It was just like 10 to 10. It was like, I got 50% chance against this deck, which is not really my best favoring matchup, if not a bad matchup for me. And I still haven't lost any fucking matchup against other decks. I actually gained against them just by reading the field, knowing what to play, adapting, and I was like, that's better. And then I just realized who in this format has more than 50% chances to win against Zogo Bell Striker. And then the answers were not everybody. So I just went to a very bad deck to kind of, I don't like this idea, but tier 2, tier 3 deck, you know. So sometimes you just gotta read and get a knowledge of the format. You're not playing some bad things, but yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that all comes down to making metagame deck decisions and card decisions. If you're expecting, you know, I didn't play that much Dual Commander around that time when Zogo was legal, but I imagine like a lot of people are playing that deck, right? So if you're expecting to play against that strategy a lot, can you play a strategy which is more powerful against it,
Yeah.
even though your strategy might not be as generically powerful against everything? Maybe that's a good decision. Maybe that will help you win a lot more games. Um, so yeah, it's and another thing. It's again, I think quite a hard skill, especially in eternal formats, is being able to read metagames because they are so diverse. There are so many different options.
And put rest in peace at the last second.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the best metagame decision is when you already know what your opponent's playing, right?
The best metagame is just when you already know what everyone is playing and you start metagaming after the tournament has been started and the deck list registered, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you get a deck check? No, I did not, so I changed my deck all days. How good was the tournament? Pretty good, actually.
Well,
What is my next opponent playing? He's playing that. Okay, let me change 5 cards and then come back.
yeah. I'll just swap my general real quick. Don't mind me.
Oh, jeez. So he's playing about Robert of the Rich too.
Finalement,
Oh yeah.
il y a eu un choix qui est
How it could randomly just win a game.
attendait et bah, ça
Yeah.
a débloqué la situation instantanément.
I think it was kind of okay when we saw it played before.
Bah, je pense que
Yeah, I think Solus only got really lucky to win that match.
enfin, le
In
pire point pour
his
moi,
opponent just throwing away one game and then
je faisais rien avec.
Yeah.
a perfect draw in game 3.
It's a pretty good card to steal games too.
Yeah, it is.
And we haven't seen the Grim Flayer actually, which does the same thing but faster.
De toute façon, il fallait le mettre dans la pile, c'était la
Yeah, because you get to look at 3 cards, right?
Yeah.
Enfin, le choix brutal, c'est de les mettre par tour, parce qu'il avait Chrome en CZ.
Il avait Chrome en CZ qui tapait à 4.
Oui, bah oui, voilà. Ça,
Et à ce moment-là, en gros,
je crois qu'à ce moment-là, il a pas, il a pas la mana.
il avait l'aile.
Bon, il l'a. Bon,
So they're just rediscussing older games with the people, but the other ones are not here on live. So
oui, la brutalité n'est certainement pas un tour, mais bon, c'était un peu malheureusement le seul truc que je pouvais casser avec ma mana noire.
so why did he find the collective brutality when he was really back in the last ring position and he was just almost KO? He's saying that he just had floating black mana and that was one of the only rare things he could find. So that's the reason of why he took so much time and just finally took collective brutality, because there was nothing else to find actually.
Mais un setting multi-party ou duplex avec.
Yeah, with collective brutality, you can cast it to gain life and maybe not die on the next turn. Yeah.
Yes. En tout cas, c'était vachement cool de nous avoir permis de jouer la finale jusqu'à la fin, même s'il n'a pas fallu grand chose de plus.
So they're thanking also for the extra time in the final too, so that they could play to the end.
Enfin, voir KO gagner sur juste
that's
1-0.
For the challenge and for the prestige, you know, better than winning with 1-0 and a draw.
Eh
I
ben,
agree.
je vous souhaite une bonne soirée.
I think if I was in the Blaze position, I would ask for extra time there.
Des gros bisous, et j'en profite pour faire ma petite pub pour les tournois du jeudi sur le Discord Magic Biquette. On fait des FNM de 3 rondes tous les jeudis à 19h30 en duel commander. Vous êtes les bienvenus. Je sais pas où est-ce que je pourrais partager ça, mais il me semble que c'est partagé sur le Discord du ZAP. Donc voilà, affaire à suivre pour ceux qui veulent. Ciao ciao.
All right. Yeah, that was just finishing into some local advertisement to encourage of online tournaments.
Je fais ça.
Yeah, I think this is pretty interesting, and it's certainly possible to run something like this on Cockatrice at scale, where you could even have like a 100, 200 players tournament without prizes, regular rules enforcement, and maybe even restream. I wonder if this is something that the organization will look into. I assume this is sort of like a trial, sort of first run, see if it works, and then maybe it could be expanded to more players, which would be really interesting.
Parce que tu n'as pas le droit de poster les liens.
Ah merde, ça censure pour les autres, mais chez moi il apparaît.
C'est pour
Du coup,
ça.
si vous voulez accéder...
And yeah, as my fiance is saying, if I can find for a year, it would be really nice to be able to have some way to play Commander.
And actually, I hope they're going to do this one more time, if not many more times. I just asked if we could do this every weekend, but it's hard to get everyone ready for a whole Sunday day like this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Every 2 weeks would be probably fine. Or...
That's what I was thinking, but it's harder than everyone thinks to organize this. Really, I mean, we've had something like 15 people on deck to make it happen. You know, not counting myself because I was just standalone. You know, I'm just working alone. But that's kind of a hell of a work for them, communication, and like the one of the organizer, the one you saw on stream, Laura. Just said she didn't sleep for like 30 hours like now. So she says as soon as we cut the stream, I'm gonna just fold into the couch and wake up on Tuesday or Wednesday maybe.
Yeah.
And the other guys, who's also a TO, says same for me, Animal Crossing and couch.
Seems reasonable.
All right. So I think, am I still talking? No. All right, so they cut the stream. Whoa, I'll cut the stream too because I got many things to do right now. But yeah, thank you very much, bro, Mackie.
Nice to have a chat, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.
For information, I'm more of a home person. I don't go to tournaments. I don't. To sum it up, weekends are too short. It doesn't mean I'm unable to play and talk about Magic. So I just, as you can find on YouTube and the channels, no, not Twitch is. I'm not paying for Twitch, so Twitch is not keeping my videos that long. They're just disappearing after a few weeks. But on YouTube, you got the replays on tournaments. Maybe I will upload those ones. I don't know. And if I got the time, I need to save them. That's a few gigabytes of things to be downloaded. That's cool. And I usually restream all the tournaments that are streamed by the ZAP. So the Masters tournaments are usually streamed. So I just do a restream in English. That's always like the first ones were 15, 16 hours a day. That was really intense. And now we have so many people coming to a tournament. Finally, it was decided to try to get the room to get the venue, which is rented for 2 days, and split the tournament in 2 days with another tournament, as maybe people saw in January. We had what they call the rebound tournament with something like 100 players on the second day tournament and 232 players, I think, on the main event. So yeah, and they're even thinking about adding more formats actually to have like modern sun events or maybe something else. So there will be many more coming soon, and I will be there every time they want to stream. So as you can guess, because of the COVID-19 situation, everything is just put back in question right now. There's not going to be anything else for like months. I think I picture myself. I think if there's nothing's going to be happening until maybe September or October right now. So we still don't know what September or October will look like. So right now we are more than careful on this. So this might be something we will renew. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, bro. And keep up the contact anyway. I'm on the Discord of Duel Commander, of course. Not every day, but I'm here sometimes. On Facebook, you can contact us on the Duel Commander Facebook webpage and stuff. We're on forums with everything, so if you got something to say, we're all ears. And needless to say, play Ikoria that is out in the next weeks. There are many things to do with this extension. It looks like fun. I'm not sure. I thought it was going to be ugly, and I already passed the the decreasing time where I just let everything cool down, and now I'm just convincing myself that the edition is actually fine. Yeah, those card melting things, those companion things are going to be interesting.
Yeah. But on the plus side, I think they have shocks, so what could go wrong?
And new lands, yeah, new lands, triple lands and stuff like that. So we'll see. All right.
Well,
So thank you very much. Thank you, Maki Bro. I'm just virtually sending you a high five right now, and thanks for sparing my voice. And see you guys. That's all for today. Thanks for being here.